Hello students, welcome to Chem Expert classes. I hope you all are doing amazing. Today I have brought another session on IUPAC nomenclature for all of you. This is the second session on this topic. If you haven't watched my first video on the basis of IUPAC nomenclature, please go and watch that video first and then come back to this video. Because here we are going to study the nomenclature of alcohols. So it is very important for you to understand the basis of IUPAC nomenclature before starting with the nomenclature of the functional groups, right? If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do that. It will help me a lot. Please also hit the like button if you like the video. Thank you so much, and let's start with the video. Now the first function group that we are starting with is the alcohols, right? So let us begin. So first and the foremost thing which you have to remember when you're doing the nomenclature of alcohols is the identification, right? How will you identify that the function group given in your compound is an alcohol? So for that, you can see whenever OH is given to you in any of the carbon chain, then it is understood that it is an alcohol functional group, right? So this indicates the presence of alcohol. Now, how do you write or how do you name the alcohols, right? So this is very important. The secondary suffix that we use for alcohol naming is OL, all. Right? Now let us begin with some examples in order to make this more clear to all of you, right? Now here, as you can see, I have given one rule for all of you to make it easy. What you have to do is, before naming the nomenclature, you have to understand this rule. When you're naming the alcohols, you have to first write the root name, which is the number of carbons. That is, for one carbon it is meth, for two carbons it is eth, and so on and so forth. If you don't know this, please, I will highly recommend you to watch the first video, right? And then you have to use the primary suffix. Now primary suffix is whether the given chain, the carbon chain, is an alkane, alkene or alkyne. According to that, we will use the primary suffix, and then we will use the secondary suffix, which is OL for alcohols. Let us start with the question first. Here, as you can see, we have one carbon, right? One carbon, and we have OH group, right? So when we have one carbon, we write meth, right? This is our root name. Now, primary suffix is ane because it is an alkane. So methane, right? And then you write all. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that, see, if you write methane all, right? Here you can see E and O are coming together, but this should not happen, right? So you have to keep in mind that A, E, I, O, U, that is all the vowels plus Y, okay, cannot come simultaneously. Here you can see E and O are coming together, so you have to remove E, okay? So it will become methane all together. So this is the naming of the first carbon. Correct? Now coming to the second one, which is CH3CH2OH. Now let us start with this. Now here we can see that carbon 1 and carbon 2, numbering of the chain. So for two carbons, it is ethane because it is an alkane, and then all. So ethanol. I hope it is understood. Now let us see, when the position of the alcohol group or OH group is not terminal, then what happens? So here in both the cases, you can see that OH is at the end of the chain, right? So that was not an issue. We didn't have to write the position of OH group because it is always here. In these cases, it is 1, right? So writing 1 is not that important. But what if the position of the OH group is different? Then in that case, there's only a slightest difference, which is after writing the primary suffix, you write the position of OH group. All right? I will explain it with an example to make it more clear to you. Here, as you can see in this example, now first we have to identify the longest chain. So this 1, 2 and 3. This is the longest chain. Now here, as you can see, the OH group is present on the second carbon, right? So what we are going to do is, we are going to write the root name, which is prop, and then we are going to write the primary suffix, which is ane, without E, of course, and then we are going to write the position of OH group, right? So what is the position? 2 carbon, so we will write 2, and then we are going to write all. So it is propane 2 all. correct? Now coming to this one, as you can see over here, see, this one is like carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, right? So we can simply see over here that OH group is attached to carbon number 1. So we need not write the position. So it is propanol, correct? Or we can also write it as propane 1 all, correct? So propanol, this is propane 1 all and this one is propane 2 all. So you can clearly see the difference between the two. In this one also there are 3 carbons and this one also there are 3 carbons, but this one is propane 1 all and this one is propane 2 all. Now coming to the common name of these two, this one is an IUPAC name, right? IUPAC name. Now if somebody asks you the common name, so the common name of the alcohol is written as alkyl alcohol, okay? For example, it is propane and all, right? So we can write propyl alcohol. This one is also propyl alcohol. But how do we write? How do we distinguish between the two, right? So when we see a straight chain, then it is written as N propyl alcohol, okay? And when you see the second carbon is attached to the functional group, then you write isopropyl alcohol. All right, so this is how the common name of these two compounds look like. If you need a separate video for writing the common names, then please let me know in the comment section. If you have any kinds of doubt, please put that in the comment section. I will totally take your doubts up. Okay, now coming to the asymmetric alcohols. What I mean to say by this is, here for example in this compound, if you see, you have 1 carbon and then the third carbon, and on the second carbon OH group is attached. So I could either write it from here or number it from this side, right, or this side, right? So it just is the same because the OH group is attached to the carbon number 2. So this kind of alcohol chain is known as symmetrical alcohol. But now let us look into the asymmetric alcohol naming. Now, when you're naming the asymmetric alcohol, one rule which is very important, which you have to keep in mind, is that the OH group is given, the carbon on which the OH group is attached is given the lowest number, okay? The priority is given to the OH group, right? Now, if we take this example, I could give this as, if I'm going to number the longest chain, then I could number as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I number from this side, right, or if I can say from this side to this side, then in this case the alcohol OH group is coming on the 4th carbon. But if I start numbering from here, then it is coming on the 2nd carbon. So out of 4th position and 2nd position, we are going to prefer the 2nd position because 2 is less than 4, of course, right? So now let us just follow the same procedure. Same thing, the root name, which is pent, and then the primary suffix ane, and then the position, which is 2, and then OL, correct? So it is just the same, but the difference is this is an asymmetrical alcohol, right? Here we have 1 carbon only, and on the other side we have 3 carbons, correct? Now let us take another example. In this example, let us just try and answer this. So first you have to identify the longest chain, which is going to be this, of course, because this contains the OH group. Also, one thing you have to keep in mind is that you should not leave the functional group out of the chain, okay? Do not make that mistake. So how are we going to number it? So here you can see we have 2 things, right? We have one alkyl group, which is CH3, right? And we have OH group. Correct? We have 2 of these. So what we are going to do is we can number it from this side 1, 2, 3, right? Or we can number it from this side 1, 2, 3. Now if we follow this rule, then our alcohol gets 3rd position and our CH3 get second position, right? If we number it from here, our alcohol get first position and our CH3 gets second position. So of course you can see this is the lowest, right? So we are going to follow this only. But otherwise also, if this would not make a sum of lower numbers, then also we are going to give priority to OH group only, right? So always you have to remember OH group is given the maximum priority, okay, and then the alkyl group, correct? So this number we are going to follow. So it is on the second position we have methyl, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to write 2-methyl propane 1-ol, or you can simply write all, right? Because on the first carbon OH is attached. We are not going to follow this order, right? If you don't know how to number or name the carbon chain with the alkyl groups, or we can call branches, then please watch the first video. It will be very helpful for you, all of you, right? So this is how you number it. You just give the position of the branch and then write the branch and then write the root name and then followed by the primary suffix and then the secondary suffix. I hope it is clear to all of you. If it is not, please don't hesitate to put it in the comment section. Okay, now coming to the next one. Let us just try and solve this one. First, you have to identify the the longest chain. So it is 1, 2, 3. As you can see, this is a symmetrical carbon chain. So it doesn't matter from where you number this. So this is your longest chain, which is propane, of course. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to write 2-methyl, because this is the position of the alkyl chain, and then propane all. Okay, propane 2-ol. Okay, here you can see the position of the alcohol is 2. So it is going to be propane 2-ol, right? And you can see I'm not putting any E, right? That is because the another letter which is coming after that is O, right? Now coming to the last type of alcohols, which are unsaturated alcohols. Now if you don't know what unsaturated alcohols are or what is unsaturation, please go and watch that video. I have explained very, very nicely over there. But just to get started with it, unsaturated compounds can be of two types. They can be alkenes. That means if they have double bonds between carbon and carbon, and they can be alkynes. That means if there are triple bonds between two carbons, right? So yeah, that is called unsaturation. So now let us get started with the nomenclature. Now before starting with the nomenclature, let us look here on the priority, right? So the priority, as I've already told you, between the functional group and the alkyl group, the functional group is given the maximum priority, then the unsaturation, and then the alkyl group or any branching for that matter, right? So here if you see, there are two ways of giving the number to this chain. It could be 1 or 2, or it could be 1 or 2. But here we can see if we follow this naming system, then alcohol will get the second position. If we follow this one, then alcohol will get the first position. So we are going to prefer this one, right? So this we are going to avoid. Now in this case, how do we name the compound? So first, same thing we are going to follow. It is the root name. It is the root name. Then we are going to write the primary suffix, right? The primary suffix is "-ene". This time it is "-ene" because there is double bond, and then "ol", ethenol, right? This is going to be ethenol, not ethanol, correct? Now coming to the next compound. Here if we see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon chain, right? So we are numbering from this side clearly because the the alcohol group is getting second position over here. If we give positioning from here, then this will get probably the 6th position, which is too high for the alcohol, right? So we are going to follow this numbering system. Now let us just name it. So there are 7 carbons, so hept, and then there is unsaturation present on third carbon. So we are going to write the position of the unsaturation hept 3, and then we are going to write the unsaturation which is ene, and then the position of the alcohol which is 2, and then we are going to write OL. So it is hept 3 ene 2 ol. I hope this is clear to you. If it is not, please let me know. Okay, and first of all, please do watch the first video. This will make it very easy for you to understand the numbering or whatever I'm doing over here. It will be very easy for you to understand, right? So 3 I have written for the alkene, and then 2 I have written for the alcohol. Okay, now let us just continue with one more example. Okay, in this example, you can see you have, first you have to identify the longest chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Here you can see you have 7 membered chain again. And then here you can see you have 2 alkyl groups as well, right? It is CH3 here, CH3 here. So 2 methyl groups are also there. So what we are going to do is we are going to first write the alkyl groups. Why we have numbered from this carbon and not this carbon is because, again, the same reason, we have to give the lowest number to the alcohol group. If we name it from the left hand side, then this is going to get the 6th position, which we do not want, right? So we are going to name it from this side because priority is always given to the alcohol group, right? Now let us begin with the naming. Here first we are going to write the position of the alkyl groups. So it is 3, 6 dimethyl, okay, and then the naming of the longest chain, which is hept, all in continuation, okay, and then the position of the unsaturation 5, and then unsaturation suffix ene, and then the position of the alcohol group 2, and then all. Right, so it is 3, 6 dimethyl hept 5 ene 2 ol. Right, so this is how you name the alcohol groups. Okay, I have tried covering all types of examples for you. If you have any kind of doubts or you want me to solve some other questions for you, please do let me know. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do it, and please like this video and try solving these questions on your own. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.